Hey and welcome! Today we're making Kurdish Shortbread Cookies. This recipe is dedicated to a wonderful organization called the Lotus Flower, which is based in Kurdistan, whose mission is to support and empower girls and women impacted by conflict and displacement. To learn more about the Lotus Flower and how you can help them in their mission, check out the links in the description box. Now let's get started with the ingredients we're going to need. Here I have some all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, and good quality butter. A pinch of salt, and optional is to flavor your cookies with some ground cardamom. Traditionally, these cookies are garnished with either walnuts, almonds, or pistachios. You can of course leave it out if you want to. And as a tribute to the Lotus Flower, I went ahead and experimented with garnishing these cookies with some edible sunflower petals as well. And to ensure that the flour stuck to the cookie, I used egg whites to work as glue. Start by creaming together your room temp butter with your sugar until it is well combined. I have tried this recipe with powdered sugar as well as using melted butter, but I definitely prefer the taste and texture of this combination. The longer you mix, the better it'll come out, but the sun was setting on my end, so I had to speed things up. Add your pinch of salt and cardamom, and when you've incorporated it fully, you can go ahead and sift in your flour. For those of you who've been around from the beginning, this might be a given, but for all the new subscribers, you can always find the recipe and all the amounts in the description box. So you might need a little bit less or more flour, depending on how wet your butter is, since different butters contain different amounts of water. And it can also depend on how dry or humid it is where you live. You're going to want just enough flour where your dough comes together, and as soon as your dough is ready, go ahead and form your cookies. Grab a piece, roll it into a ball, and then slightly press it between your palms. Place them on a baking sheet. I've lined mine with some parchment paper. Remember, the cookies will expand a little bit, so you don't need to flatten it out too much, but also remember to keep space between the cookies. I ended up getting 16 cookies out of my dough, but you can easily double or triple the recipe. Go ahead and garnish your cookies with your choice of nuts. I decided to make a spread with different nuts, and when you go and garnish them, gently push them down slightly so that they don't fall off or become loose after you've baked them. If you decide to garnish some with edible flowers, go ahead and brush your cookies with the egg whites, and I used egg whites only rather than whole egg because I didn't want the yolk to mess with the color of the end result. And finally, you want to go ahead and add your flower petals, and once done, go ahead and bake them on the middle rack in a preheated 180 degrees Celsius oven for 10 to 12 minutes. Every oven behaves differently, but you know they're done when they've expanded slightly and started to develop a darker color at the bottom, but are still pretty pale. Take them out and let them cool down completely on a rack before you enjoy them with a glass of hot tea. That's all for today. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and click the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. I hope to see you on the next one.